like that view of your kitchen this time, Ali. I like that. It looks good.
How's this looking?
Awesome. Whoa, what's the bull?
Oh, dude, I know. Before I even moved to Texas, I had this thing. And what's really hilarious is this was purchased at the most hoity-toity Philadelphia suburban shop where my dear mother-in-law was like, you must register at the Little House shop. And so I go to this place going, how many doilies could I need, right? And then this sweet daddy, this cutting board, Longhorn cutting board thing I picked up there. So for years,
Classic.
you know, when I lived in downtown LA, going up to my loft, I'd be carrying this thing up the elevator to the rooftop barbecue. And people would be like, because it's a communal grill.
Yeah.
So people are like, damn, son, are you from Texas? Nah, I just got this thing at the Little House shop of Bryn Mawr, Philadelphia. And now cut to me being in Austin, doing lots of food content, doing a lot of grilling. And this thing is magically on brand. Who'd have thunk?
Awesome.
So, yes, by the skin of my teeth, just in the nick of time, I'm back. This
Nice.
one's loaded. Should I just jump into it? Do you want to ask questions? My thing is, whatever I'm doing, it's going to be weird. So we're getting weird. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, cool. I feel like, you know, I can always like push in to kind of show you each of these things. Hold on, I'm going to grab my my Java
chicken
here.
hearts?
I'm back on Java.
Is that chicken hearts? What are those?
No, not quite. But I like what you're thinking. You're thinking bloody. You're thinking, you know, offal.
Yeah.
Think meat, because we're thinking bourbon, right? So I'm really excited to share this meal with you guys. So we're talking bourbon this season, barbecue and bourbon. Bourbon is a no-brainer. But, you know, I can tell you, living in Austin in the 512 in the 78722, which is literally a zip code home to the best barbecue in the city, and by default, that kind of does mean the state, just because there's such a concentration of barbecue here, right? This is the newest of the new. This guy just opened up shop like a month ago. He started doing pop-ups.
Okay.
KG BBQ, Kareem Gayesh, my dude.
Oh,
who I used
you
to
talked about him last week.
Yeah. So my dude came to Texas from Egypt. He is the Egyptian cowboy. This cat came out here, fell in love with barbecue, used to be a banker, moved here, left that life, and just started hitting up people, knocking on doors, knocking on offset smokers, saying, can you teach me? I want to learn. People were like, nah, no, whatever. By 2012, there was that wave of barbecue people post Aaron Franklin that just created this whole new run of excellent barbecue, right? People that were chefs, people that were like, I want to make brisket as to this next level, right? And people weren't ready to like give up their secrets. You know what I mean? This is trade craft. You know what I mean? You can't be just showing this stuff. But he met a dude, Curlin Barbecue. He learned the ways from this dude, and he finally opened up his own shop. But, you know, I said Egyptian, and what he's doing, what's completely fabulous, is he's rethinking. I have to keep this stuff warm. He's rethinking how Texas barbecue, how post-oak smoked meats can be served. So probably the best is just to show this right here. This right here is an example of what he does. Is that working for you? Can you guys see this? Looks like I froze up. Oh, there we go.
Right.
So this is a rice bowl, brisket chopped over kind of a yellow aromatic rice, tahini sauce, pomegranate, some parsley, some chopped tomato. So he's doing bowls, like a Middle Eastern bowl, but with, you know, classic smoked barbecue. So brisket, this is one of the examples. Kind of looking around here, you're going to see, you know, this is kind of a classic dish you're going to get in the Middle East. Obviously, Egypt is Africa, but it definitely has that influence. chopped cucumber, tomato, parsley, red onion, pomegranate. Pomegranate is a big theme in his cooking. So this is, like think kebab salad. That's what this is. Wow. This also has a pureed pomegranate in it, and I think beet, this is a potato salad, my friend. This is freaking potato salad. Yes, but he's smart. He's thinking about that color. Now, for the real deal, Daddy. Okay. I had to keep this warm. And the saddest part, of course, with all this is you're like, oh, you want to eat this meat right away. Here comes the platter. Okay, so check this out. This is classic Texas right here. Jalapeno cheddar beef sausage. Look, that thing is huge. Exactly, my friend. And the links are big. His is exceptional. Right here is a chicken thigh kebab. So the thigh is deboned. It's flattened. There's a fly trying to steal my meat. Lame. Oh my God, so good. You can literally taste on here things like, sumac, Middle Eastern spices, but again, cooked, in an offset, right? This, my friends, is lamb bacon. Okay. Yeah, dude. It almost looks like a beef short rib. So it's basically, created like, a lamb bacon. He's cut it thick, so it's not thin slices, right? So it's real thick right there. And just to add to all that, think about, and there's more. I mean, this is freaking rack of lamb. Yeah. We're doing rack of lamb in an offset. It's obviously got this crazy rosy pink center. Rack of lamb, notoriously expensive. You can just get these for $8 a pop. This is a hell of a lollipop, kids, right? Yeah. Of course, we're going to have the wiggle, Texas brisket. Ooh, there it is right there. So Texas brisket. And then this is his other claim to fame here, pomegranate ribs. You can see that. That looks like za'atar. Yeah. Right? I don't know his secrets, but that's za'atar. These are the pomegranate ribs. Wow. Now, this is dripping. Literally. He's got two kinds of barbecue sauce here. One of them, he uses pomegranate molasses as part of the barbecue sauce. So classic Texas barbecue sauce is going to have ketchup. It's going to be more vinegary. It's going to be thinner than anything in KC. But he is, adding like that Middle East Egyptian stuff. Tzatziki is in the mix here. This is just, I'll show you right now. We're going to have a dip. I'm going to dip straight in here. We're going to get into this just to show you. I mean, seeing's believing. This is actually the lean. Like, this is how tender. Like, it just falls apart. Wow. I am salivating. Honestly, guys, I'll tell you right now, the game changer right now happening in Texas barbecue is brisket and tahini. Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, we've had a lot of tahini mentions far this season for Eat This.
You're right.
We had the sauce that you made, the gomai sauce, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would.
And tahini is sesame seeds. Is that correct?
Sesame seed, just ground and ground and ground until you get basically a paste. To make the sauce, you're basically taking this. It almost kind of looks like a runnier peanut butter, right? Mm-hmm. And in some ways, it could be considered a substitute. And then the sauce is amazing. All it is like water, garlic, and a little lemon juice. Bzzz, and then you've got it. When I used to go to the Armenian restaurants, really good. Oh, dude, this literally is, this is the future of barbecue right here.
So didn't you tell us 2 episodes ago about a guy that's been doing tahini sauces in barbecue? Not this guy. Is it this guy? Okay.
This is the guy. Yeah. This is the guy, KG BBQ. I'm completely blessed because he's down the street from me.
No way.
He's down the street from me. When he had a pop-up, I walked there, I'll straight walk Maximus there. It's not that far. It's really rad. And, it's so funny because when I went and I tried it, he started doing pop-ups in 2020. I've never actually had the bowl, so I'm actually going to get into the bowl.
Okay. So this is a brisket bowl, Ali? Brisket?
Yeah, this is the brisket bowl, right? So you can get, you see that beautiful yellow rice in there with the pomegranate seed,
I love pomegranate.
By the pomegranate. Someone was just asking me if I liked pomegranate, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's fantastic on dishes, but to see it used this much, I even looked up Egyptian pomegranate, and they're saying that fruit was very important to the culture, if the internet is correct. But they're saying that they would make wine from the pomegranate juice. I did not know that.
I could do it.
Yeah. And we're in season. I mean, we just got into the season of pomegranates. Hey, Ollie, what were you about to tell us about going to Armenian restaurants? Because I love Armenian roasted, all the stuff in Los Angeles, Glendale.
So this is where my version of this, my time hosting, is so much fun. So I literally would go to the Armenian butcher shops, right? I go to the Armenian butcher shops, and you could literally buy the meat by the pound, already seasoned, and then you could see like, hey, will you cook it too? So they would have everything, and it was very reasonably priced. So I'd go there, I'd get like rack of lamb, all this stuff. The one thing, though, that got me was they would sell tahini, but not tahini sauce. One time I bought a jar of tahini, and I'm dunking rib in it, right? And just like this. But instead of getting like an actual sauce with some acidity and some garlic, it was just eating paste, you know?
Paste? Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I have two Armenian butchers by me here in Burbank, and they're fantastic.
And they sell the jars of the that garlic paste that they make.
Boom.
Oh,
Boom. Yeah.
Jesus, it's so good.
So good.
One time there was one place I went to. It wasn't Zanku. It was like kind of, I don't want to say it's off brand because it was really good. It was, to be honest, a little more intense. Their tomb, that white paste was so strong. The next day, my mouth reeked of garlic. And Brearley, my wife, was like, you can't be eating that shit. Like, no. Like, I don't want this. I don't
sweat it. It sweats out your pores.
So you know what I did? One time, she went out of town, and you know what I did? I went to that shawarma place. So I could eat that right to, like, it's just
hours to recover.
Oh, dude, 24 at least. Try 36.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's that classic reference in the Beck song where he says he's singing to his lover, and he says, "I wouldn't do you like that, Zanku chicken," and he's obviously referring to, "I'm not going to have Zanku chicken before we make out because I'm going to have garlic breath."
Yeah. I was just so enamored that a place like Zanku Chicken, when I referenced it back in 2003, before Yelp and before people actually were like, hey man, I'm into food, because there was a way to kind of share that interest.
Yeah.
I was just enamored that Zanku made any kind of pop culture. That I never even bothered with the context of what that was. So that's good to know.
Yeah. I had one right on Normandy. I don't know. It might have been the second one or.
That's OG.
That's
the one
that's the first one.
OG.
Yeah.
Dude, me and Ryan, we used to go. I remember when I went with Ryan to Zanku for the first time, because it's generous. This is your classic, for better or for worse, certain cuisines, they get a piece of the marketplace by going, yo, we're cheap.
Yeah.
And you're going to go here and you're like, yo, I'm poor. I love this. And, you're willing to try it. You're adventurous when it costs under $10 or whatever. And I remember I went with Ryan and he was like, we'll just split it. And I was like,
no.
And we did. And because it's overwhelming. Dude, like.
Well, I go in and order one whole chicken, 3 things of garlic, and the side. So the hummus, the pita. And I eat the whole thing. That would be the day where I was like, I'm not going to eat today. I'm going to order everything at Zanku. I'm going to eat the whole thing.
It's like Thanksgiving, right, Steve? It's like your Thanksgiving sort of thing.
Yes.
I was literally going to say that.
Yeah.
That is your personal Thanksgiving. By the way, back in the day when there were foodie message boards, I hope this chewing isn't getting out of control, but
it's fine.
I mean, you can't not do this. I'm having rack of lamb. This is the whole point.
Yeah.
In the foodie message board days, I remember, and this is like the dopest Zanku hack ever. They were like, yo, you know what I'm bringing for Thanksgiving? Tomb. They brought the white shit to Thanksgiving. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
Because Thanksgiving, when it's traditional, it's so, I'll just call it, I'll just say it. Traditional Thanksgiving can be hella bland.
Boring.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it can be comforting.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're like, gravy on stuffing is like, how much starch can I eat? Liquid starch, starch, meat stuffed with starch. Oh, and by the way, pass the mashed starch. Come on.
Yeah, but if you get too adventurous on Thanksgiving, you're gonna piss people off. That's
aunts, uncles.
You gotta have the nostalgia. You gotta have the nostalgic dishes, and then throw in a little spicy side on or two.
Yeah.
But hey, Steve, when you are hearing Ali, I love, by the way, the lamb with the barbecue. That's so awesome.
Like, my favorite red meat is lamb. I love
Steve,
lamb.
What are you thinking as the drink expert here? What is coming to mind when you see sort of this rich, flavorful style of barbecue that Ali's? What kind of bourbon are we having, or would we go with a different liquor? What do you think?
So, because of the spices, I immediately thought of a sweeter bourbon cocktail. You could definitely just have bourbon on the rocks with this. There's enough grease and fat and everything in here. Spice.
Are you talking about my face right now?
And it's funny that Ali puts this out because I was just writing for next week's episode. I was changing what I want to do. Okay. And I want to do a sweet autumn cocktail.
Okay.
So something with honey. Maybe something with a liqueur added to it. I'm not totally sure yet. I'm going to play around with this. What?
I was just thinking of your wrestler name, Steve. Was Steve Autumn?
Oh, Stone Cold Steve Austin. No, it is Stone Cold, Ice Cold Steve Autumn. That's what it is. You know?
I forgot about that.
No, we didn't. You did not. So gaze into this platter, talk amongst yourselves, because your boy over here might just have a ringer for you on today's episode.
Yeah, and so we can also talk about at a traditional, just old-fashioned. Ali's in love with old-fashions now. Yeah. He had the double rye old-fashioned. Anything with sweet vermouth is going to really go well with these spices. Think sweeter cocktails. You could even go back to last week's episode with the sling with a pre-batch with the honey and bourbon, a little bit of lemon juice and club soda, and make it a backyard barbecue light, fresh cocktail. But I like the sweet angle. I like the old-fashioned angle.
All right.
Nice.
It sounds crazy, but the platter is going away right now.
Okay.
But what does that mean?
That potato salad.
I'll tell you what that means.
The color on that potato salad was crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody is changing the program and dropping something on the bartender guy. I almost feel like I'm cheating by just showing you food and not making it. So I'm going to make you something. We're going to start here. This should not leak. If it does.
So that is a rye, not instead of a bourbon, which is totally
negative.
This is an American whiskey.
Negative.
They're making bourbon now?
Ooh,
no way.
100%.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Nice.
Steve.
I wonder where they're getting their juice. What's it say on the back label?
Made from 100% Jack Daniels. Just kidding. I'm a big fan, Whistle Pig. You keep sending me this free stuff. Hold on. Piggyback bourbon. Here, let's take advantage of the
So Steve is claiming this should be a rye, and we're trying to figure out why it's a bourbon.
Yeah, so Whistle Pig is known for, this is the former master distiller of Maker's Mark, Dave Pickerel. Dave Pickerel left to go start this new rye, American rye distillery. But he was buying most of his rye from Canada, blending it. I believe the rye fields are in Vermont, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since and they always made rye. There you go. 100% rye.
There's the rye.
I like these new labels too. This is new packaging. This is new labels.
So I'll just say it. I work with Traeger. Traeger works with Whistle Pig. They've sent me some stuff over the years. Straight up, the last time they sent me like the straight class like this, that ball, I finished that. Now they sent me this stuff. They've been doing stuff with like rubs. They sent me a whiskey that's actually made with it's had smoke like from pellets, so that's like their kind of collab thing. There's rubs, there's barbecue sauce, all this stuff. But you said it, Steve. You were like, this would be a good sweet drink. And because I have guilt for not cooking for you guys, your boy
is going
to make a drink. And here's the thing. Here's the super cool thing. I'm looking for everything I need right now. Bingo, there it
is making the drink.
I'm loving this.
Yeah. How about that? Now, the thing that I'm doing is now I will tell you, they sent the bourbon, they sent the rye, and they had a recipe for an old fashioned. Now, that recipe involves what I think is a fantastic hack. I had it last night. I had 2. It was on the sweeter side, and I have to confess, I don't have all the elements I wish I did for the old fashioned, but that's the reality a lot of people have. We don't always have everything we need.
A lot of people have. Absolutely.
So the hack is this.
Maple
Whistle
syrup.
Pig
has
a maple syrup.
I guess
so. I am going to make a maple syrup old fashioned for you guys. And what's so funny is I had the drink last night. I'm having the barbecue now. And as Steve was saying, how great this barbecue would be with a sweeter cocktail, that's exactly what this old fashioned is. Boom. It is on the sweeter side. I end up going pretty light on the, and this is just my ice. My ice is from my sink, and I put it in my mold, but it is a biggie. Got a big cube. Yeah, I know. All of a sudden, Ryan is part of the converted. He's part of the ice mafia.
Let me interrupt for 2 seconds.
Go.
It looks like some of their stuff is still sourced, but they're starting to, most of their farm is now coming online. Makes a lot of sense because they're in Vermont. That's why they're doing probably local maple syrup. Is that aged in their old bourbon barrels too?
Yes, it is, my friend.
Yeah.
Smart boy.
Cool.
Steve put on his smart boy pants today. It absolutely is. So, it's funny. Last year, whenever they first sent me this, they sent me some syrup. And I was like, this looks like fancy syrup. I'll save it for pancakes. I drink whiskey on the rocks. You know what I mean? Like that works really well for me. But it is fun to do an old fashioned. I made this last night. Now, I will tell you, last night I used the rye. But in honor of bourbon season, I'm going to make it with this bourbon right here. So let me just kind of reset everything, and we're going to do cocktail time. We're doing it all up. I think
there's no reason you can't use both the rye and the bourbon.
I love that. I also
Sorry, I was trying to give Ollie a little theme music there for a second.
No, it was good, and I even have this.
What's that? Oh, come back a little bit.
Oh, he's got bitters.
Yes.
And not just any Angostura.
His pantry is exploding.
Yeah. I'm trying to get there. So, this is basically, they sent me a lovely little recipe card. In fact, it's right here. Oh, dang.
Very cool.
Where do we go? We'll freeze up. Action. Oh, there it is. They have the whole recipe for the drink right here. Could not be easier, in my opinion. So I'm in honor of bourbon. I'm actually going to make this with the bourbon. We are going to do, I'm channeling my Steve, 2 ounces.
2 ounces, yeah.
2 ounces right into the glass. Okay. Now, they basically call for half a tablespoon of the maple syrup. I found it to be very sweet. So I'm just like doing just a itty bit.
A little bit, okay.
Yeah, like to me, that's the pour right there. How does one
measure half a tablespoon?
I eyeball it. I mean, come on. At some point you're like, we're not baking.
You said tablespoon?
Yeah, I use like.
Oh my God, that's a ton of syrup.
Okay. Well, I mean, it called for a quarter ounce.
Oh.
So a teaspoon is 1.7, I think. So that's
3 teaspoons is a tablespoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, if you think about it, I just put in maybe a teaspoon.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That makes
that's
sense.
Me for my taste. I mean,
that makes sense.
We got to see whoever made this recipe. We got to see what they look like. If they're just addicted to sugar.
Yeah, that's true.
I like that you're building this in the glass. I think that's great.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I remember doing it. Now, like I said, I didn't have everything. I didn't have it last night, and I did say to myself, I'll get it today. And I ended up going to KG BBQ and talked to that guy for like 2 hours. Dash of bitters. I like to, use this stuff, trying to get rid of it. I've got like 3 bottles of bitters. And that's it. I'm just mixing it in the glass, a little stirry. I like to kind of do like 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5,000. We want to be sure we don't over dilute, because that's what happens. Ice melts. It becomes water. The drink becomes watered down. I don't like watered down drinks. I hate Jack and Coke. I won't drink anything that wasn't made by a unicorn, small batch. Steve Greer in the house. I will tell you, I'm just trying to get the bitters off.
Did you use rye last night, or just?
Yes, I used rye last night,
okay.
And I still found it quite sweet. Now the one thing is, and let me try it. Cheers, gentlemen.
Yep. Cheers.
And by the way, I hope he's listening. I sent him a link to the show, KG BBQ. I really do think he is going to blow up. I think he's just giving you a whole way to enjoy barbecue. And honestly, it's so funny. Egypt's in Africa, but I consider his food Middle Eastern flavor-wise. I don't know why. That's just me. But here we go.
I mean, Africa obviously is a huge continent with many different regions and terroir. So
that's pretty good. It's very bourbon. It's so funny. The bourbon's not as sweet as I thought. I thought it'd be, I'm scared it'll be too sweet. I wouldn't mind putting in a little more maple syrup in here. I wanted this more in the rye. For some reason, the bourbon, I think it's fine. But I am missing the orange peel. If I had an orange peel, I would have taken it, put the lighter to it, kind of worked the glass, stuck it in. I think it definitely adds to it because it's such a simple drink. But at the same time, I just want to say this, guys. Straight up, I get it. Make your own simple syrup. It's simple. But you know what else is simple?
Yeah.
Having freaking maple syrup is simple syrup. It's not that different.
What we used last week, but it was not aged in bourbon barrels. You know what you can do with this drink too? You can do half of it rye, half of it the bourbon, kind of a play on your double rye old fashioned you had in Philadelphia.
At Gage and Tollner. Yeah. That's genius.
Yeah, so an ounce of the rye, an ounce of the bourbon. You're getting more spice. Up your syrup to whatever level that you want.
Yeah, but it's funny. This is a really killer, because barbecue is so heavy. But what is great about his cooking is that you have the opportunity to just get more kind of I don't know why pomegranate barbecue sauce and tahini lightens up barbecue, but for me it does. And even just having this rice bowl here. I mean, having just whiskey and Middle Eastern food, I don't think I've ever done it at the same time. You just get the fat, and sitting there because it's such a rich dish. And then, well, that's living, dude. You know what I mean? I'm alive right now.
Yeah, the spices in his cuisine just lend itself to a larger range of drinks.
You know what's weird, too? I was saying I was missing the orange. The drink. You know what's happening? I'm biting into that pomegranate, and it actually is giving me what my cocktail on its own is missing. So a lot to
that's so cool.
A lot to consume right there. Yeah, I doubled down. Sorry, Steve.
No.
Let's see what you can do next week. Boom.
So the Whistle Pig, they're sourcing some, but they have their own farm, their own distillery and everything in Vermont now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It freezes.
Yeah, and they're all 6 year, it looks like, right?
Yes, they're all 6 year. It's funny. I have to tell you, Steve, when I don't know how, I must have posted, you commented on it, or maybe you texted me, but it's funny because I was like, I wonder if he's going to be like thumbs down or thumbs up. You know what I mean? But it was
Yeah.
Steve gives it the thumbs
Yeah,
up. It's not.
and Dave Pickerel was a hoot. He was a cool character. He helped out a lot of people.
So backtracking a little bit, but also on topic, Steve, I got an advertisement this week on my phone for 100 proof Jack Daniels bonded.
Oh.
Bonded. We talked about that earlier, didn't we?
Well, no, but I did see this week that they released. Maybe they released it a while ago. It's a bottled and bond. Bottled and bond.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. So remember, all that means it has to come from a bonded warehouse, from a single distillery, a single year, aged a minimum of 4 years, and it's always at 100 proof. That's bottled in bond.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's extra. I mean, you're paying for something right there, because they're saying, hey, we're not just slapping the sticker on anything, because I think that is the double-edged sword we dangle upon in bourbon, right?
Yeah.
You know, is that it's not all, I remember when I would drink Jefferson's Ocean.
Yeah.
And, and I really liked it. It was expensive, especially at a bar, especially when you're watching NBA playoffs and you're on your fifth one. And the guy's like, just so you know, these are 25 a pop. And I'm like, close my tab.
Yeah.
Close my tab right now. We're done. We're in the fourth. We're done. I remember I was like, looking for it. It's like $85, $90 a bottle. And I'm talking to this guy, and I'm like, I like this, but it's so expensive. And he goes, yeah, I mean, this one's pretty good, too. And I'm like, I know, but that Ocean. He's like, listen up, homie. This thing is not going in a pirate ship across the Caribbean. It's sitting in a barge, okay? You want to have this idea that it's on the high seas and the bourbon's splashing around in the barrel to mimic the waves. He's like, sitting in a dock. Maybe Long Beach, maybe Philly. You know what I mean? Just sitting there on water. So sometimes you're like, take it, there's no parrot on there, caulk on, there's a little BS into it. Unless, Steve, you've got something to enlighten me on. That's what my guy told me at a store once.
So, funny, we're going to talk about this next week when we wrap around another bourbon cocktail. We're going to talk about the business of bourbon, because bourbon and whiskey, American whiskey, is really based on contract distillation. Not everybody just opens a distillery and only produces their few bourbon and releases them. Anyone here can go to Kentucky or to MGP over in Indiana, just on the other side of the river from Louisville, and taste through offerings, blend it together, put it in a bottle, and smack Ali B or Ryan's bourbon. And you're a producer. You're a bottler, I guess I should say, but you're selling your own whiskey. That's what American whiskey is built on, contract distillation. Tequila is the same way. In Jalisco, there's 150 distilleries, and they make somewhere around 1,500 brands of tequila. Wow. One distillery might have 60 labels of tequila that come out of it. In Kentucky, Heaven Hill, they would sell a lot of bourbons to a lot of people. There was a famous one in California called Black Maple Hill. It was like a $20 bourbon. It was very, very good. But that guy, he was a wine importer. I think it was CGI or CBI, something like that. He just went to Heaven Hill, and he had been going to Heaven Hill for a long time, and bottled a blend that he put together, or at least the rumor was Heaven Hill, because you're not really allowed to say where you got it from. There's a lot of producers that do this. All the smaller.
And how much was he slinging his stuff for?
That was $20. It was the best value bourbon on the market. It would come in, and it was gone within 3 weeks. 20 cases gone.
That's crazy.
So that's what Kentucky is built on, contract distillation.
Just so you know, Ryan, pin this moment. This is vintage Greer right here.
Yeah.
He's talking about that legendary whiskey. It was $20, and then he dropped something that sounds like something from like constitutional law from Thomas Jefferson. Contract distillation is what Virginia whiskey was built on.
Like
You know what I mean? He started that, and I'm like, and then all of a sudden,
Falcon on his arm.
Heaven Hill,
yes,
dude.
You know what's funny?
That was
Black Maple Hill. He couldn't get that whiskey anymore because bourbon exploded. Heaven Hill wanted to keep all their stuff, or the price went up. So they turned the entire packaging to the same label, but new bottle shape. They started bringing whiskey out of Portland, I believe. It's not very good. And it's more expensive. It's not the original stuff.
I was in a store. I wish, you know what? Maybe we'll play a game called Ali Remembers. Steve actually figures it out, right? So Ali remembers. I was at a store up the street, it's called Monarch Liquor, not fancy. You know what I mean? Not value either. Sorry, right. Big box stores are where the deals are at. And I went in there. I'm looking for whiskey. I'm like, overpriced. And then I see this thing. It's from Oregon. It's expensive. The bottle's I want to say it's a bit of an off-white label, some blue writing, blue marking, and it's expensive stuff. It catches your eye. You're like, oh, I bet this is really cool.
It's a square bottle?
$70. I feel like I would recall that, but
I want
all
you
I
to
really
go
recall
back.
is recoiling. I will.
So next week, I want to go in there, take a photo of that label. Next week, while we're talking about the business of bourbon, we're going to talk about a bunch of other things too.
Westland? Was it Westland, Ollie?
I want to know which one that is.
Can you flip can I see the screen?
I just found one that's from Oregon, and it's got a blue label, and it's called light blue label, Westland.
So his was a off-white label.
Oh, okay. Black Maple Hill.
But there was blue in it.
That's the one I'm talking about.
That's the one Steve's talking about. That says it's $229. Black Maple Hill.
No, this thing wasn't $200.
Okay.
No. So that might be an original Black Maple. Well, no, Black Maple Hill original is selling for $7.50 a bottle.
Yeah, Ollie, go back there and figure out what it is. And we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah. And I'll have to, I saw an article a month ago on the 25 most expensive bourbons. I'm going to have to go find that article again, just so we can start throwing some of this stuff out. We've talked about Whistle Pig now. We've talked about Old Foe, which we're using this entire season.
Old Foe.
Four Roses, Buffalo Trace. There's plenty of very good American whiskey, rye or bourbon, that is under $50 that you're going to enjoy. You're not chasing the trophies, which we can talk about on another episode. And when we get to the very last episode of the season, you guys are going to be doing a blind tasting of everything under $50. Nothing's going to be a trophy. Nothing's going to be difficult to find. They'll all be different, and you guys will taste them blind.
I think too, and also being someone who really does enjoy this. It's funny. I'm actually enjoying this old fashioned far more with food than I thought. You know what I mean? But I do enjoy drinking just whiskey with ice, the simplicity of it. Mm-hmm. And for some reason for me, and 50 isn't 50 anymore. 4 years ago, $50 was oh, okay, we're stepping up. Now I'm going to say you're getting into the 60s, 70s, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm spending $70 plus for a bourbon, you know what I'm doing? I'm sitting there with my glass and just my big fat ice cube with my tap water ice. Oh well, but it ain't Half Moons from the fridge. And I'm looking at the bottle, going $70. $70. Yeah, I have to believe that it's so expensive that I just should have it naked with nothing in it. Why would I, even reach for?
So, question on that. I know you've already done that before, where you bought something expensive, you sat down, you drank it. Did the experience stay with you, or did you know what really happens?
This is what happens. Then along comes a bottle of Old Forester, and I'm like, it is so much cheaper, and it's very good. I mean, it's doing the job.
Yeah.
It's not making like I remember buying one whiskey where I was like, I shorted myself.
Yeah.
It was sugar. It was candy. It was bad. I was like, do not spend $20 for whiskey unless it's Old Forester.
Yeah.
Old Forester, you can. I think it's remarkable, and I like their expensive stuff, but you don't have to spend that much and enjoy a whiskey. And I'm talking just in its simplest state, with a big ice cube made with tap water from the sink in my garage, from the laundry room.
Well, think about this. Old Forester has been around a very, very long time. They've perfected the recipes. They know what they're doing. They're not adding anything. It's not sweet. It's not, it's just whiskey. It is American bourbon. Not everybody in that $20 price point is going to make a really good bourbon. I mean,
and I just want to, I think it's worth propping out how good at $20 Old Forester does.
Well,
to me, that's almost a bigger reward than like I've never had Pappy. Brian, have you had Pappy?
No.
Yeah.
I heard they just released some, by the way. I heard they just came out with some.
Yeah, it comes out every fall, just before November. Everybody gets very upset that they only got one bottle when they thought they were going to get 3. So where do we leave this? My Old Forester 100 proof was $28.
Wow.
But that's a liter plus.
No, mine's a $7.50. Mine's $7.50,
okay.
But it's 100 proof. I think the Old Foe 86 is somewhere around $24. Might be cheaper down there in Total Wine in Austin.
You know what? It might be, but I also say this. It's 2022 and everything has gotten more expensive.
No, yeah. Everything.
Yeah. Everything's more expensive. Milk's expensive.
Yeah.
Even 100 proof milk is a fortune.
I cannot wait for episode 8 because it's us tasting. You guys are tasting. I'll know what everything is. It's not a test. It is literally just a style preference blind tasting. Oh, I like this one. I don't really like this one. I like this one. This is my favorite. I can't wait to see because they're all different.
8. Yeah, we're excited for this, Steve. Ollie, I can't believe you made the drink today.
Yes.
That was incredible.
And you know what's funny? Because I was having them last night, and I was like, for convenience, it's really good. But God's honest, making it again and having it with the barbecue. Because a lot of times I'm like, and you know what? I having it, you don't want to pregame. Just straight up 1-to-1. Yeah. 1-to-1. Because, like when I'm having whiskey, I'm like, I'm having a few. And I'm like, oh, now I got to cook. And then by the time to eat, it's like, did it matter what I'm eating? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of like lessened a bit. But no pregame, 1-to-1, old fashioned with maple syrup, KG BBQ, winning combination, done.
It was brilliant.
I love it. Well, thank you guys for another great episode, episode 4. We are coming next Saturday with episode 5. Steve's going to tell us a little bit about the business of bourbon, he says.
A great time to say it because people will be listening and it's news to you guys. And I can only disclose so much. But I won't be there on Saturday, sadly. I will be out making that thing called TV.
Okay.
Oh, we lost him.
Your thing just cut out, Ollie.
Audience, in case they're going to tune in next week. I won't be able to join. You guys have at it. But Saturday going forward. But next Saturday, I will be somewhere, and it'll be cold. That's all I can say.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
We will we'll have a great episode for you to watch.
All right, Ollie.
Excellent.
Well, cool. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you. I want to fly to Austin for this guy's barbecue.
Yeah.
We might have to do. I have some thoughts on that. We might have to figure out the old on the road, on location. Yeah, think about it. We could all have our own thing set up, but we're actually there. I think the world's opening up. We're hanging out. I was just in Denver. a 2-hour flight.
Yep.
Not bad. Not bad.
That's right. We will record it when we finally get together in person for an episode of Eat This, Drink That. It's got to happen soon. We're getting there. We're getting to that point.
Are getting there.
All right. Well, hopefully we
guys.
can end this show and not let it run for the next 5 hours. So I'm going to end it on my part. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Steve. Eat This, Drink That. We'll see you guys soon.